So since you're saying you did well this game, which I believe, and your KDA and CS numbers, whatever, at the end of the game, were looking pretty good. This game we might end up focusing on the competitive versus solo queue aspect of everything. Um, okay, so let me just make sure this is up. Okay. Um, so if you look at your lanes right now, do you look at your lanes before every game?
What do you mean? Like, do I look at the matchups?
Yeah, like look at the matchups and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much yeah, scope it out for yourself. Okay, good. So in solo queue, you're gonna know top's gonna be really easy to gank, and is pretty much a necessity to gank because even though Shen can beat the Aurelia, if you shut her down with like one or two good ganks, then that's gonna be hell for her for the rest of the game. You know you're not like you know you have to be wary of Eve counter ganks, right? So you always want to have like vision and know where she's gonna be if you're gonna gank anywhere. Because if you go in and blow everything and then survives the full burst and has enough HP to turn it around, then that can be tragic. Do you usually go like a full clear route with Zac, or do you
Yeah,
level 3 gank? Okay,
I usually go full clear.
alright. That's fine here. The thing is, if you go the full clear, and then you're like level 4 by the time you get back down, like, and you reset down to here, right? Then you can just go up to the lane, depending. Like, you can communicate with the lane beforehand and say, hey, Lucian Braum, I'm coming up, I have level 2 E or whatever, right? And then,
Yeah.
yeah, you can just lane gank, and that's really free, actually, with Lucian Braum. So, and then that way, even if you show yourself, right? Hold on, let me turn off the sound. That way, even if you show yourself bot because you pulled off that lane gank, right? There's nothing for Eve to take on the other side of the map because you already full cleared on that side. So it's a very calculated risk. And the only thing that your team would have to be wary of is, let's say, like Eve's pressure on the top side in terms of ganking because she knows she won't get counter ganked if she goes on Shen. But yeah, that's it. So that's like a really safe game that you could take because you know that the state of the rest of the map is that way. Like, you have all your camps taken on top side. Do you check? Okay, so the one thing that sucks about you not being able to record is I can't see your camera movement, right? And that's
Yeah.
pretty damn big for a jungler. Do you F key at all or no?
No.
Okay, you should start getting used to it ASAP. Like, obviously don't do it on your main right away, but on your Smurf, every single game that you play pretty much... Oh shit, nice. Yeah, like every single game that you play pretty much, you should be F keying. Alright, this is a good move. I like this. Very nice. Alright. But now you have to go right to the buff instead of going Wolves Red or Wolves Gromp.
I believe I saw Eve top. Or I think Eve showed in lane. I actually can't remember, but
Okay.
and so then I
You know this
proceeded.
doesn't show her if she's invis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just if she W's to my jungle, which I know she probably won't, but this is also gives a free ping for my team.
Yeah.
It's just like a habit for me to do
I mean,
that.
you're not going to be smiting the blue anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe the Gromp otherwise, but this is a fine pin or a fine smite here because you're going to end up full clearing this anyway. All right, so that's really good. You got the flash in mid. Do you time summoners also? I'm assuming.
No, I don't think I timed summoners, but I wrote down in flash.
Okay, that's
So
good.
yeah,
I mean, if you have an LCS support with you, then he'll probably be timing it, right? If you just
yeah.
write down the flash, so that's fine. But in some games you might want to practice that as well. So do you know how to? Like
Yeah,
you
it's
write
it's like
down Control A,
5.
Control C. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what you do when you F key, set up your what do you call it? Like, you go to hit escape, you go to your hotkeys or whatever for camera control, and then you change the F1 off of yourself, so just spacebar is when you want to recenter on yourself,
Yep.
right? And then you make that your like first player or whatever, and then every time you get in game, you hit tab and you rearrange everyone like from top down to support. So then you know every game, F1 is my top laner, F2 is my mid, F3, 4 is my bot lane.
Right,
All
right
right, you
now I'm
showed
just
here.
wasting time. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you
was
should.
like bad.
Yeah, that was really bad. You shouldn't show here. If you hug this wall maybe and go around, then okay, but even then I think it's risky. I think you should, since you ganked mid, right, it changes this timing. Because this lane gank, or even like a loop round gank, is fine if you full cleared and went back down. But since you chose to gank mid, your decision making has to change, right? Like
Yeah.
this, I mean, they shouldn't even die to this. That was fucking ridiculous. You legit just showed to them. So
This
that's on them.
This
And then-
got counter ganked, but I believe it still ended well. It ended up being a 2 for 2. I was spam pinging TP and then we got
Okay.
the TP.
I don't think that ends well. That's the thing, right? Like what happens is if you the whole thought process is you were gonna gank here after your full clear, right? So then
Yeah.
there's nothing up here. But the thing is, if you gank here and it fails, then Eve can take your Wraiths and your Wolves if she's smart, or she can counter gank like she just did, and then you don't know the outcome. You're flipping a coin. You don't ever want to flip coins. You want to take the guaranteed shit. So I think definitely the full clear here, and then on your way, the one gank that you're okay with yourself making is the mid gank because you blew the flash. And now it's a lot more guaranteed. But so you keep looking at mid. So what you do then, after you get out of base, is you take the golems, and then you move your way up to the wraiths. As you're moving to wraiths, or even as you're taking golems, between picking up blobs and shit, you just F key over to mid, see how the wave is forming mid. If you think, oh hey, I can pull off a gank here. If the wave continues to be this way, you just tell Vlad, hey, freeze, and then you gank mid.
Yeah.
But this is a good adjust by you, actually, because if you had just kept clearing up, then it's really dangerous for you. I mean,
Because
Shando,
if Eve counter jungles or if I have to counter gank,
Yeah.
I'm not full HP and I don't have my jungle item at that time. So.
Yeah, I mean, Eve didn't have mana, but at the same time, if she found you, she can just call Talia over, and then they take all your shit, so that's fine. Wait,
I
why
don't
are you coming
remember
up
what
here?
I don't remember what I was doing up here. I believe I actually don't know why. That was just retarded. Yeah.
Yeah, he got a kill, so here you should just jump in and just clear this wave,
Push
push
the
it in
wave,
for him. Yeah, and then you can go back into your jungle. Or if they kill Eve mid, you can maybe check the wraiths.
Yeah.
Or no. Here you can just counter CS still at this point in the game. I'm pretty sure. Never mind, because she took the bot farm. Okay, yeah. So what you should have done was just push that top wave out and then went back into your jungle.
Yeah.
Hold this for the mid. Oh, never mind. Talia's keeping you there. So yeah, you'll just have to back up. Damn. So there are like two different rotations that got fucked. You know what I mean? Like now you're way behind in pacing. All right. This is good by Braum. That's a really good move by Braum, actually. That pathing is beautiful. All right. This is why F-keying is so important, right? Like, if you F-key up to this lane and you see that this is doing this, then you know on your clear on the way up what you can do. It changes your pathing completely. Because now, instead of doing something like this, you can end up doing something like this, look for the gank, and if it doesn't work out, then the worst case scenario is you still get these two camps on the top side of your jungle, right? So you really want to look for those ganks where if you miss out on them, then you still get something for it. But if you get something for it, then you get a lot for it, because then you get this gank, you get to push out the lane with your top laner, and you get your farm. Actually, you see Eve here, yeah. So you can either plan on counter ganking mid from this angle after you get the top side. So now your focus should be on here, right? Like from mid to top. As soon as you go into these wolves, you should be staring down here, and then like pinging him off of there, and let him know that she's going to be coming from here. Because now you know that the only angle she can attack from is there. And at the same time, like, this red is coming up, and his thinking is very basic. He's just going to clear up and then take this red. But since you already have the red, and now this is a minor pacing advantage for you in the short run. So, then if you look for that gank top, he's not going to be in a position to counter gank at the time. Because he's still going to be clearing. And then you can loop back down. Is all this making sense?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm just writing some of it down.
Yep, that's cool.
Send me a video of the YouTube when it's up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I can go back and rewatch this in like a reference in the future.
Yeah, I definitely will. Alright, nice. That's an awesome lane gank, dude. Perfect. I think, once this happens, like, once the flash happens right down to here to a very specific point, you know you have to leave. And you should hold the ult. Because the ult's just going to bounce her that way, and it's not going to do enough damage to finish her. So yeah.
Well, at this point, I was pretty tilted, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of raging because I was like, if you just taunted, then even though she had flash, I could have used my E into my R, and
Yeah.
I think Shen should have been there for that. But in terms of my like decision making to follow her,
Yeah.
and while I was doing that, like I was like Eve was gonna be here, but I just thought that I had enough damage to possibly kill
Mm-hmm.
the Aurelia. But yeah,
Do you see
you're
how that's a
100%
coin
right.
flip though?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
you made the very first mistake of not doing the pathing that you should have.
yeah.
But these are everything we've gone over so far would be the same in competitive as it is solo queue, honestly, in terms of pathing. So.
Yeah.
All right. That would be unless there was like a strict like you had a mid laner on your team that you guys just devoted a shit ton of resources to, like pretty much like RNG does with Uzi or something. Then your pathing might change a little bit based on just straight up team strategy. But yeah, this is what I'm teaching you so far is the most correct way to path. Are you giving this off or just taking it because it's a Vlad?
I'm taking it.
All right, that's fine.
I usually take second blues unless it's strictly competitive, and then after I will um usually give it off.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. You can usually carry with it, and then once you know your pathing better, you'll be able to do even more with your pacing. So it's good. Okay, so they're shoving in mid here. What you want to do instead of going all the way down is you can go for river vision now. Since you have all your camps taken, and there were two mid now, and then Braum is going down to bot because he has to meet Lucian down there. And let me check to see if the tower's still up actually, because my toolbar is fucking it up. Yeah, so he definitely has to come down bot, and he can't help Vlad hold. So if they 3v1 here, they can actually put a lot of damage down onto the tower if you're not protecting it. What you want to do is go into the river. So you go into river, and then you look for Scuttle, and just hold off. Wait. You can sit here, and if they like try to go on the tower, then you just jump and take them off the tower, pretty much. But you have to jump like pretty much past them so that you don't die after you jump in, obviously. But yeah, this river like control right now is all you need because this is shoving into bot, and then bot lane's gonna be there, and you just saw two mid, so there's no threat on a dive in bot. But there is threat on a dive or like tower siege on mid. So the river control on the top side there is a lot more important for you to get. Okay. So right now, like, you should be hitting tab and saying, all right, like, the one thing I need to focus on right now is making sure that Eve doesn't pretty much solo carry the game. And now your theory might change a little bit in that you might be looking for more counter ganks than you are proactive ganks.
Yeah.
So make sure to pick up a pink on every buy that you can. Let's see. Yeah, you definitely had gold for it. You need a pink.
Yeah, that's something that I've really been trying to get better at.
Mm-hmm.
It's because in general, I'm just used to the actual pink trinket.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I used to get all last season, but when they got rid of that, I haven't been good with it like ever since. But yeah, that's something that like Billy tells me and like everyone pretty much. It's like you need to get a gank. You need to get a pink.
Shit. Nice.
So right here, like Eve does a really stupid dive on her part, and in this, like you said, counter gank's what I'm looking for. Because if I were to just get like a regular gank off, and if it gets counter ganked,
then you're fucked.
I pretty much just lost.
It's a 7-0 Eve. Yeah, exactly.
So in that case, that was really stupid by Eve, and she should have been able to, in my opinion, solo carry.
And that's why, like, you never get tilted or rage, right? Because then the enemy jungler, or even the enemy team, is just going to do some stupider shit than you even managed to do early on, you know what I mean? Can't believe I just said the word stupider, but...
Yeah, it makes sense. So right here, I think I'm looking for...
You're looking for Taric onto the minion wave, yeah. Like, that was a good place to jump. What you want to do is pretty much separate Taric from them, and in the same way clear as many minions as you can so that, they can't continue to shit on the Braum. That's good. Alright. So this is lit up, which is awesome. Here, I think what you're going to do is you should have had the pink right. Put the pink here so that if Eve goes through all this vision with her invis, You see if she's going for your red eventually. And right now the map is pretty much... Okay, it's not strictly... I don't think it's strictly closed or open for your team. So what you want to do is take the wraiths, take the golems, don't take the red yet, and then keep that pink there for if she tries to come in to invade, and then base after golems. Then you can go for the red so that you can actually make the full use of the timing of it.
Yeah.
And then either go up to the top side for wolves into Gromp, or you can look for a gank, or maybe even dragon based on how their team positions.
Yeah.
Damn, BK. Gotta have more discipline than that in the mid lane. I'm getting dove. But it's okay. Lucian made a good move there by coming mid instead of bot. Alright. So now it changes a little bit because you can't afford to base because of mid. So you have to take golems and go to mid and defend it with Braum.
Yeah, that's
again, so Braum going here is smart, but there's a very small window that they have. You want to cut off any windows that they have, and the one window that they would have is if you kept pathing down here and they had any vision to know that you weren't anywhere around there. If Eve was anywhere around mid, the 3v1 dive onto Braum is viable before Vlad gets there. Right before he gets there. So that's the only window that they would have. But the thing is, if they use that window, they kill the Braum, and then they reset, and then they're 3v1 on Vladimir again, and they could potentially dive him and take the tower. So at that point, you have to pretty much play tower defense. But again, that's an optimal situation where the people that you're playing against, I'm assuming, know the right thing to do. But they're not doing the right thing to do because they don't have vision, and they don't know that that's actually a viable option for them to go for. Alright, so you have the red now. How much time do you have left on it? Okay, so about 45 seconds. I'd say you should look up... Yeah. Instead of doing this, you should go up to top. Because it's 45 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So go up to top, look for that gank again. Like I said, if that doesn't work out, you can go into Scuttle and the rest of your jungle very easily. And at this stage, Shen has Sunfire too, and you have the Cinderhulk damage. And she doesn't really have any more defensive stats than she did the last time you ganked, so... you could probably kill her before Eve would get there. And since he has a pink here, it's fine. You know that Eve can only come from one way, and that's the tri-bush.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Because if she was sitting here, right, if Eve was right here in the lane, Aurelia would be postured way fucking different right here. Aurelia would probably be here, and then ready to go on Shen at any point. But, yeah, Eve definitely isn't in the lane. So the one way that she could come is, from that tri-bush, and that's the only way you'd have to worry about for counter gank, so it becomes a lot more predictable. Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't think going in was a great option there, because you didn't know exactly how much they could bring. I guess you had the Shen, but, yeah, even then it's kind of iffy, because they were in a spot where... Here, I'll rewind, actually. Alright. Well, first, do you know who you were going for here?
I don't remember right now.
Okay.
I believe I was going for just the double... Or I was going to see if Taric kept engaging, and I would either try and go on Taric or Talia based on...
Alright, so as soon as... Yeah, so you see her right now. As soon as this happens with Taric... Okay, hold on. No, you have to jump here. You have to jump, here. Not even onto them, right? And then, since you have ult, if Eve goes right here onto Lucian, then you ult her off and then keep running with him. Or if they full focus on Braum, you ult on them and then hope that he ults right after, and links his CC as well. Perfect, and then he can jump back to you, and you guys can escape. Wow, you actually did it. Okay, nice.
I didn't feel the need to ult, though, because I saw that Braum...
No, yeah, I know. He got out. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Alright, and at this point, I see the Aurelia TP, so I time my E with Aurelia, and then after I use the Let's Bounce to...
Lock it down. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Good shit. Here they're just gonna be able to clear because of Talia, and then just the way their comp works is there's no way you're gonna be able to get this mid tower. But this is so free, dude. You can definitely go for this.
Yeah, I usually don't prioritize mountain dragons. I don't like them, but that's something that I need to get into.
Free dragons are free dragons. You're gonna need them, and then if you're looking to get into competitive play as well, you're always gonna want any dragon that you can get, especially because your team is pretty weak at sieging, and it helps a lot with the
10%.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, if you go for that too, then you force them to fight out in the open, which is what you really want, especially with Taric ult down. So yeah, it's a lot better of a fight for you guys to take than directly in the lane, right? Because Ezreal, Talia really want to fight in the lane because it makes their skill shots way easier to hit. But out in the open, it gives you and your teammates way more outplay potential.
Yeah. Yeah, I think right there going for a dragon instead of doing another initiation would have been much better.
And then you would have been able to reset before the next wave even got to mid.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Let's see what your pathing's like. Up to top. If this guy didn't die so much, you could actually maybe even consider giving him the blue, because Lucian gets 40% off of, unless he has it in his runes. Let me check. Oh, it doesn't show CDR from here. Here it is. Yeah, he doesn't have any in runes, so he could cap out at 40. Like, if it's a good ADC that you're playing with that you know will actually be able to make use of this, if you're a manaless jungler and they're playing Lucian or Ezreal, and you check to see their CDR, and it's only going to be at 30% once they finish their 2 CDR items, then you can think about giving them the blue. But you did, yeah, what you did was good. Like, full clearing up the top was fine there. I'm pretty sure. Let me check back to make sure what the wave was like for Aurelia at the time. Holy shit, dude, this guy just has no regard. Let me check. What the fuck? Okay, he does not have this warded, and he's still that pushed up. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I think he's tilted. At that time, he was 1 in 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Or some shit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a good gank to go for them. And the full clear was fine, because at the time, she wasn't really gankable. And if you're playing against a top laner, you want to keep F-keying like this to see, like, if they're tilted, you can definitely tell that this return gank is going to be super free once they, like, step up to this wave, right? Instead of walking around. But, yeah, but if they play smart, let's say you're playing against, like, Dyrus or anyone with competitive experience and discipline who can say, oh shit, this is a bad spot for me against a Zac, I'm going to back off, then you can just reset back down to mid and then maybe look for something there with the Shen ult, or you could just reset and then go down, clear this, and look for your next move based on the minion waves. Actually, here you might have been able to just stay top, dude. Because if she doesn't have TP, I don't know if you know that she doesn't have TP or not, but if she doesn't, then you can just take this tower with the Shen. It's weird to see like a Shen and a Zac attack the tower, but in that point in time, it is the right thing to do.
Okay.
Especially because you don't have any camps leading down to here, right? And you know that her camps aren't taken on that side. Or are taken, I guess. Unless I don't know, maybe it was because I switched to Fog of War.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's a good move. Nice. Very nice.
So right here, I'm just trying to burst Talia before the Taric ult came through, but it didn't. Oh, one sec.
Oh, beautiful.
Can pause the game? My mom's calling.
All right, no problem.
Alright.
Alright, cool.
So yeah, pretty much at this point, I'm just really tanky. I can kind of do shit like that regardless without getting punished.
That's really good. Here you should go for the Dragon or the tower, sorry, into Dragon, and then think about Rift Herald, but it's not that big of a, like, Dragon is way bigger of a priority because Shen is already shitting on Aurelia in the split push game, and he doesn't really need it, but if he gets it, it's like a nice boon, like, he's going to be able to get towers faster because of the magic damage, and that's probably the biggest thing he gets out of it, but, yeah, you want to look for the Dragon first, because that benefits the entire team, then look for Rift, because it can benefit Shen's split push. If you're playing with, like, a Fiora or a Riven, and
definitely focus.
Yeah, definitely the Rift Herald, based on like if it's a skill matchup or not. So, all right, cool. Nice. Get the red. I'd say get red, get golems and base. No, you should get golems then red actually.
Yeah, because it prolongs the timer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Unless if you are going to golems and then you see that they're coming in here, then you might even want to stop the golem take and just jump right to it and take it before they can loop back around into your jungle. Unless they go full on into this tower like they did, then you can take both. That just sucks. Like I don't know why your team just stayed there after the dragon instead of taking good backs.
Yeah.
It's like there's like 2 or 3 options that I've had to tell you were suboptimal, that you just have to either cover the tower or like now reset because you don't have any pressure on this side, but it's okay. You want to take the smarter option even if it tilts you, right? Like there are ADC mains that ask me like, oh, what happens when my support leaves lane forever? And I'm just like sitting there getting dicked by a 2v1. And it's like the best option is just don't die, right? In some scenarios, it's just going to be don't die, reset, and look for what you can get next. It doesn't really matter. You got the dragon, you got the tower, so them getting a couple of return kills afterwards doesn't matter that much. Okay, take this Gromp and then look for top, I'd say. Never mind, Shen's basing. And he has no vision. It's fine. This is a weird stage where you kind of have to wait until everyone's out on the map. Like, you just have to wait for Vlad to get in the lane, and then since Shen has ultimate, you don't really have to wait for him, but yeah, now everyone's postured to do something if you absolutely want to. You need to get some vision here, though.
Yeah.
You can sell refillable for pinks at this stage for sure. So you could put like a pink here, and then have Braum ward here. And then you get complete vision on that side of the jungle.
Yeah, really me and Braum should have been warding together. Would you say going Tracker's Knife and solo queue is optimal?
No. Not here, especially.
Not this game?
Yeah. The Chilling Smite does so much for your ganks into those immobile lanes, like into the ones that can't dash, so yeah, it's totally fine. And even against Eve too, like if you Chilling Smite her after she uses her W, feels pretty good. And if she doesn't get a reset obviously, but yeah. You guys end off that?
I don't think we end off that.
Oh no, it's okay, going to 23 minutes. I was gonna say, I don't think they're dead for long enough. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Nashor is good here, because Aurelia's bot and she doesn't obviously have a word to TP to. Does she? Oh shit, she does. Holy fuck, dude. Their warding was better than your guys' warding when the map was closed for them and open for you.
Yeah, that's a little bit pathetic.
Obviously, it's not something that you've worked on a lot, though, being, you know, primarily solo queue players so far, but you'll pick it up pretty quick with the sessions, I'm pretty sure. As long as you just start buying pinks more and more, it's just kind of something you have to force yourself to do.
Yeah.
But I know as a guy who's used to playing full AD Rek'Sai, probably hurts you to buy vision, but
yeah. Fucking full AD Rek'Sai.
God bless. You've been playing her Cinderhawk more nowadays, though, right?
Yeah, I only play her when like smurfing or whatever full AD.
For sure. All right. You can go for this pink. You see them top. Go for the pink and rotate down. Like, you guys shouldn't be in mid right now.
Yeah.
What should happen is like a perfect split of 1-0-4. And it pretty much turns into 1-1-4 because the mid wave 6-man's for you because the inhib's down, obviously. So, yeah. It makes the game way easier to fight. Holy shit.
They just overextended.
You guys just literally fight in mid and win off of it?
Pretty much, yeah. I think they surrender after.
Oh, God.
Sec.
All right, but you get that the obvious better option is to 104, right?
Yeah, yeah, because like that's like what I would normally do in comms, but at like this point, I guess like we thought we could just like force mid brute and brute force it to the Nexus because I was so strong that I could probably tank both Nexus towers with ult and still having passive.
Yeah, but still, it's like a coin flip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that's a complete solo queue option. But if we were in fives, then definitely the 104 would have been a way better option.
Yeah.
And I just see how it's a lot smarter than like doing what we just did. But they were really stupid and let
if
us.
If they're gonna overextend, yeah. If you see them overextending into the Lucian when he was shoving the midwave, like Lucian Vlad when they were shoving the midwave, it's okay for you to move up with them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What a fiesta. The 8-1 and 2 Eve. Just felled by the hand of the fat chapstick. Alright. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
About that game? No, not particularly. Everything you said made a lot of sense. The only question I have is if I'm going to be going Blue Smite, do I stick to my warding totem or do I perhaps sell that?
In solo queue, you stick to your warding totem. If you're playing scrims with a team, etc., you definitely get a Sightstone if you go Blue Smite or Red Smite.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't go Sightstone obviously in solo queue. And yeah, keep your warding totem if you go Blue or Red Smite 99% of the time. Unless you're like
Sweeper,
yeah, if you're playing like Elise or something like that, and you had a really good matchup into the enemy jungler to the point that you can really like set up picks and bushes because you just snowball the game so hard, and then your support has their upgraded Sightstone, then you can go maybe full sweeper with the red or blue smite because then like the picks will just be too free. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna find a way to get the Hecarim game working. But for now, we could just stop here, and then we'll do the Hecarim game later. Or if you find a better game that you'd want to review, we could do that as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. And then I'll upload this and give you the link as soon as it's done.